Formspace has now launched as part of eduphoria's applications in Birdville ISD. When you log into eduphoria, you can access Formspace, and it's a place where we can create and submit online forms to help increase efficiency and go paperless in Birdville. So I want to show you what Formspace is all about. To get started, when you log in, click on the Submit New Form button at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And right now we have just a few forms available. I want to talk you through what's here. First of all, we have a new process for campus expenditures. I want to show you these two forms. This is a pre-approval process to make sure that any purchases we make are aligned to curricular and instruction goals and technology. So first of all, if any expenditure you'll be making involves Title I funds, you'll need to use this Title I Campus Expenditure Form. This will first go to Patrick Guy to ensure that all Title I requirements have been met, and then it will go on to Donna Solly to ensure alignment to curriculum and instruction. Finally, if any technology is involved in the purchase, it will go on to Randy Sumrall for approval. Once all the approval steps have been completed, Richard Goolsby will automatically be notified. Note, you will still follow all the other purchasing and Title I procedures that you have in the past. This is just a pre-approval step so that Richard will know that any purchases coming in have already been approved by Central Administration. If your expenditure does not include Title I funds, you'll use the General Campus Expenditure Request Form. I want to take you into the form. Both forms look the same, they just go through a different step of approval. So first you'll just let us know what campus and who would be the contact person in case there are any questions about the expenditure, what the name of this purchase would be, where the funding is coming from. If a grant is part of this funding, let us know which grant that is. And you want to briefly explain what this purchase would be, what materials are involved, what students would be served by this purchase. Then explain how this purchase is aligned to Birdville's curriculum and campus improvement plan targets. Let us know if this is something that's mandated by a certain grant or program. Alright, when we get to the fund allocations section, this is where you can detail each item. So you could list your first material, for example, put in the amount, and then you hit the green plus sign, which will actually add that in, and it'll give you new lines each time in case you have more materials to add in. Each time you'll hit that plus sign to add it in, and it will automatically total. Once you've added in all the items, you'll move on to the last question, which is about evaluation procedures. How will you measure the effectiveness of this purchase? What tools will you use to ensure that it's meeting the targets that you intended? You can hit submit. There's also some other buttons available to you. If you get stuck in the middle of this, you need to come back to it. You can always save it for later, and you'll be able to access it on the left-hand side under current forms. It will list any forms you're in the middle of and haven't yet submitted. You can click the printer icon to either print the file directly or save it to your computer. It'll save it as a PDF document. You can submit from the top as well. If you decide you've messed up, you need to start over, you can delete it. You can email it on to anyone who might need to see it, and spell check is available. Also in Formspace, you can click on this drop-down menu here and access any past forms that you've already submitted. So now that we're using Formspace, once we submit something, it's not just gone. We can always get back to it in our drop-down menu over here. Alright, we have the professional learning meeting request that you've been using since July, and it is now available from within Formspace. You can continue to use the link you have been using if you would like. There are a few advantages to using it from within Formspace. For example, if you get stuck in the middle of it, you can hit Save Draft for later, and it will store it over here on the left-hand side for you to come back. Once you submit it again, you'll be able to review it again and come back to it by switching over to your past forms here. So it really is just going to help us keep up with our forms that we've submitted in a much more efficient way now that we're using the full-blown program. There is one form available to your teachers right now. So when they log into Formspace, they see these same categories, and they will be looking in the General Forms folder. Every single campus now has a form for the PLCs, and it will have the particular campus's name. These are all set up to be emailed directly to the campus administrators so that PLCs can do their work and really efficiently submit to you what they've been doing. So I want to show you what's involved in this form. First, they'll be able to put their team name, let us know what date and time they're meeting, and then really start with what is the expected outcome of our PLC meeting today? How is this going to support a component of our campus improvement plan? Then they can get into who has which role today, who's in attendance and who wasn't able to make it. What will be our specific purpose for today's meeting? And almost as importantly, what will we intentionally not be addressing? Sometimes there's so much at hand and so many issues on teachers' mind that it's important that everyone just agree, today we aren't going to discuss these certain things because we want to focus on our main purpose of today's meeting. The agenda items really help move the teachers through those 4 questions of the PLC to drive the work that they're doing. And then finally, what results do we want? What tasks do we actually need to accomplish as a result of this meeting? Who's responsible for each of those tasks and when do they need to be completed? So again, once they hit submit, it will be emailed straight to the principals and assistant principals on the campus, and teachers will always be able to look at all of their PLC forms they've submitted. What's coming next in our Formspace launch will be training you as campus leaders and some of your support staff on how to manage and create your own forms in Formspace. You can think about a lot of the processes on your campus that could become more efficient. We can cut down on paper and printing costs by putting things right here inside Formspace and eduphoria where our teachers go every day. So look forward to that training coming up soon. Thanks.